I was surprised and shocked that our brother Oburu, who comes from a family, a political family, which has fought for democracy and is in a party whose name bears the word democracy, would invite Ruto to be a benevolent dictator. As if already Ruto is not a dictator. You have heard about extrajudicial killing, abductions, but now it is a shock and a tragedy for somebody who is in the parliament, and more particularly in the Senate, and has taken oath in parliament on the basis of the democratic constitution that we have, Constitution 2010, to invite a president already who is authoritarian to be a benevolent dictator. We had said before that these characters, they have sold the party to Ruto. Otherwise, he would not be inviting Ruto to be a benevolent dictator. And I want to tell them and their ilk, Kenya will never be a dictatorship in our lives by rule of the law or the constitution. Kenya will never go to the authoritarian days that brought detentions without trial and many other things that confronted the nation. So I hope that Kenyans now see where we are coming from as people who are in ODM, and you have a leader there talking about dictatorship. That shows why I'm the de facto leader of the party called ODM.
Karibu mtazamaji mpendwa kwa MIKEANN'S reaction. Njoo tuelimishane na tuelezane yale yanayojiri kwenye ulingo wa siasa. Na jinsi tunazungumza hivi mtazamaji ni kwamba mtu ambaye anashangaza zaidi watu ni kwamba Sifuna na Osochi wameweza kutimuliwa rasmi kwenye chama cha ODM na kutangazwa rasmi kwamba hawana uhusiano ama hawana ule umoja ambao walikuwa nayo kwenye chama cha ODM. Tazama tu video kisha nitakuja kuchambuzi rasmi.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I want to state that the illegal removal of Sifuna from office is not taken on a light note by this team, and I want to condemn the leaders who did this. We know what Baba stood for. Baba stood for justice. Baba stood for fair hearing and trial. And the meeting that took place in Mombasa was an illegal meeting. That was a kangaroo meeting that was set up to remove the current Secretary General of ODM, Sifuna, from office. I want to state that these leaders were seen at one point in Mombasa taking sacred oath to uphold and protect the party constitution, the same constitution that they are violating. There was no proper procedure that was followed. And I want to state that there is no way that illegal office holders can remove a legal office holder, SecGen, from office. Lastly, I want to state that the only mistake Sifuna committed and the only mistakes that we are committing is to fight for the downtrodden, to fight for the forgotten in this society, to fight for the less privileged in Kenya, to fight for jobs to be given to our youth, to fight against the high cost of living that is affecting Kenyans in this nation. These are the only crimes that we are committing. And I want to assure you that we are going to fight. The war has been declared, a line has been drawn. If you are on our side, you are on our side. If you are on the other side, fight on the other side. But this is not going to stop anytime soon. Thank you.
There are a lot of behind-the-scenes discussions that are going on about how to build a coalition. You cannot play your whole strategy right in front of William Ruto. Huwa anasema atatupanga. Sisi mgoje muone, nitawapanga hawa jamaa. Wacha niseme hapa Spice FM. Wewe William Ruto tutakupanga sisi. Sisi tunakupanga wewe. Kwa sababu yeye mwenyewe hajui vile tunampanga. I am telling you to be a force that you will never be able to handle. I am telling you the moment KANU runs candidates throughout Rift Valley, 40 to 50% of Kalenjins will vote in KANU. And will not vote in UDM. I am just also telling you the strategy so that you are aware. We are going to rock William Ruto even at home. And I also want to tell you today, when Irungu Kang'ata comes from Murang'a and says, I am supporting the opposition, I'm even a friend of Linda Mwananchi. Tony Gashoka of KANU is running for governor of Nairobi in KANU ticket. And he says, I'm also in opposition. Then there is Wamunyoro who also says, I'm in opposition. Is it an accident that Irungu Kang'ata from Murang'a, Rigathi Gachagua from Nyeri and Tony Gashoka on one side, all of us saying that it is one term? These are matters that are going on. What is happening is that these formations did not look like you could not predict Irungu Kang'ata would be Linda Mwananchi. You could not predict that KANU would be an association with Wamunyoro. And so what I am saying to the country is very soon this will unravel and it will start to happen in the month of August. I have told you that this month there is a critical meeting in Western Province, starting in Kitale, led by Honorable George Natembea of the Tawe movement. The Tawe movement will convert itself into a political party, bringing the larger Bukusu into the opposition in a formation of a new party. That party already has Jack Wamboka, it has Kalasinga, Majimbo, it has got Edwin Sifuna. In fact, the only non-Bukusu in that meeting was Ototsi. Everybody else was from Bungoma. And that meeting will start in Trans Nzoia, go all the way to Bungoma to consolidate the Bukusu vote. The Bukusu constitute 50% of the Luya vote. That is why Wamalwa Kijana was such a major ally of Mwai Kibaki. It is because of the force of the Luya numbers. And once you have the Bukusu together, you neutralize Moses Wetangula. Now that coalition is going to come together with all the other pieces it can assemble from ODM into Azimio la Umoja. On top of that, Ukambani then leaves ODM, which traditionally voted with Raila. It's now in the opposition. Uhuru's led Jubilee has the Kisi led by Matiang'i. Fred Matiang'i. Again, that is in Azimio la Umoja. So you have Rift Valley representation by KANU. You have Mount Kenya by Wamunyoro and Irungu Kang'ata and Tony Gashoka. You have got the coming together of the Kisi and the Kamba. All these coalitions are coming against William Ruto. And I am saying to you that the formation of this is leading to the culmination of a single presidential candidate. Now, on the side of the united opposition, J.B. Muturi, who is a principal, has gone public to announce that he and DP will be supporting Kalonzo Musyoka to be the flag bearer. Tony Gashoka and KANU have also said, we are supporting Kalonzo Musyoka to be the flag bearer of that coalition. Others will now speak their positions. In the meantime, Linda Mwananchi is reorganizing itself to come and join the wider opposition. And their leader will be named on the 25th of July, who will be Edwin Sifuna at the age of 44. I am so excited for Sifuna, because Sifuna is emerging as a young, credible individual who has got a lot to offer to this country. And once he is the de facto leader of Linda Mwananchi, he will be the man to negotiate with. Now, you see a situation where we will have Kalonzo Musyoka to become the presidential candidate. Edwin Sifuna could be the running mate of that ticket. And you can actually then be able to negotiate for someone like Rigathi Gachagua to be the prime minister. Now, although he has got his legal problems, which are yet to be determined by the courts, the issue of prime minister will not be on the ballot and therefore can be addressed in the new government through a parliamentary process. When Raila Odinga was the second prime minister of Kenya, Tony Gashoka was the chief of staff in the office of Raila Odinga. And I was able to see how Kibaki and Raila Odinga formed through parliamentary bill the office of prime minister. So with the numbers in parliament, we can create a position of prime minister for Rigathi Gachagua.
With all of this, do you imagine that William Ruto, who you said we will panga, does not see all of these things that you've said.
You see, Africa is littered of the likes of William Ruto. There was a man called Mobutu Sese Seko. Before him, there was a guy called Sid Barre. Before there was Idi Amin. Look, let me tell you, dictators, even Mugabe, dictators and people like that see themselves as the alpha and the omega. When they fall on their own swords, they never see it coming. William Ruto will actually fall so suddenly, he will not even believe it. He surrounds himself. Let me tell you, today's chief campaigner in Kalau is Moses Kuria, who he has fired. Moses Kuria was a former minister for trade, fired by William Ruto. He then became some advisor. He then became jobless after just working a few months. Now he's a point man of Okalau. It shows you how low William Ruto is. William Ruto requires Moses Kuria to win Okalau is laughable. Why am I saying this thing? I'm saying this thing because a strong person projects political strength with the people he associates with, who are the partners of William Ruto, in order for his presidential ambition to be true. If you go to Western Kenya, his campaigns are led by a man called Farouk Kibet. Farouk Kibet is the one who holds all these development meetings, and he's the one parading people around and said, mimi ni Farouk, munataka nirudi hapa, hawa wakabila, hawa nini. Every day in the news, you find Farouk Kibet is a chief campaigner of William Ruto. How many votes can Farouk Kibet add to the basket of William Ruto? William Ruto needs to look outside his basket of Rift Valley in order to add his numbers. And why Kenyans need to understand that the campaign of Ruto is working is not because we are violent, it's not because we cause the kind of drama that Ruto does, it's because we are silent. The Kibaki revolution of 2002 was a silent revolution. It was actually done very quietly under the table. People were laughing at Kibaki and Gilu and Wamalwa, and they were saying, and when the votes were counted, it became the unbogable election of 2002.
Tony, in all that we've discussed in this morning is a strategy that the political class is making behind closed doors and making sure they come up with a winning formula. But in all these, whether it is Azimio, United Opposition, whether it is the Tawe movement, where is the voice of Kenyans and what they really want as we push forward? Because everything I've heard so far is so-and-so is coming with the Luya vote, is coming with the Munyoro vote and all that. But where is the voice of Kenyans and things they've been pushing for and the change they want to see in all these conversations? Because that seems to be silent.
I really wish you had joined me at the Bombers of Kenya when we were forming the new constitution. One of the reasons people like me march in Sabasaba, which we marked yesterday, Sabasaba was the calendar day that commemorates the multi-party democracy. Multi-party democracy in Kenya was critical because we made a decision as a country that we'll be expressing ourselves through political parties. So political parties are formed to be the voice of the people, for the people, by the people. And so when I speak about Wiper, I am speaking about the Kamba Nation. Those are people. When I'm talking about Linda Mwananchi, I am talking about the ODM fallout or orphans of Baba. Those are people. When I am talking about Wamunyoro, I am talking about 7 million votes. Those are people. So I don't understand whether we are speaking Swahili or English. I am talking about the vehicle that the Constitution allows us to assemble under, which is political parties. So parties come together and form coalitions for the purposes of fighting and acquiring governmental power. And there is no other constitutional means other than anarchy that you can be able to go and fight for power. So I am describing for Kenyans so that they understand this morning at this beautiful platform of Spice FM how those parties which they are members of are coming together to give them the opportunity to vote via the general election of 10th of August. Now, these political parties under the Political Parties Act have to come together in a coalition. But before they do that, they have to clean their houses and put their houses in order. And that is why you are having a problem. There were so many people who wanted to emerge as the leaders of Linda Mwananchi. I've seen you've hosted here Babu Owino. And when I...
Wanavuruga mikutano yenye navurugika. Nobody can disrupt 26th rally. Na kama wewe ni mwanaume, si ni sawa. Siku inafika. How do you disrupt a presidential function? You can't. Utakuwa unatafuta kifo. Sisi sio wale wengine mnaenda kuharibu mikutano yao. Na sisi tunataka amani hapa Bungoma. If you want a meeting, you have your day to do a meeting. We will not allow. Sisi hatutakubali hiyo. Na wananchi wenyewe, sisi wale unajua hatuna polisi. Polisi yetu ni wananchi. na mtu hawezi cheza na hiyo nani mauko hiyo. That is unthinkable. Mwenye anafikiria ataharibu mkutano yetu ya 26, that is unthinkable. Na sisi tutakuwepo, kwani mimi
mwisho tu labda
mimi ni mtu ya uwanja.
Okay, welcome and welcome again to my YouTube channel guys. So guys, kitu ambacho nataka niseme tu ni kwamba Oburu Odinga na Edwin Sifuna ni watu ambao kwa hakika sidhani kama wanaweza rudi kuelewana na kuweza kusemezana kwa pamoja, kwa sababu hivi majuzi tumeona kwamba kuna mgogoro ulikuwepo baina ya hao watu wawili na baina ya vikundi vyote viwili, kwamba watu walikuwa wanasema vitu visivyofaa. But as we are talking now, mtu kama Edwin Sifuna na Godfrey Osochi wameweza kutimuliwa kwenye chama rasmi, na as we are talking sio wanachama tena kwenye chama cha ODM, na Edwin Sifuna atangaza wazi ya kwamba ataweza kutangaza msimamo wake kwamba ni nini hasa kitafanyika ama lipi litafanyika ili kutangaza msimamo. But Oburu Odinga ameweza kuchaguliwa rasmi kuwa katibu mkuu wa chama, ama si katibu mkuu bali ni mwanachama mkuu ama kiongozi wa chama kama Raila Odinga. Kisha ukiangalia utaona kwamba Godfrey Osochi alikuwa naibu wake wa chama, na pia naye aliweza kutimuliwa sawia na Edwin Sifuna, na as we are talking wawili hao hawana ajira yoyote. So swali lipo ambalo swali langu ni kwamba mtu kama James Orengo, kwa maana James Orengo bado yupo kwenye chama cha ODM, mtu kama Babu Owino yupo kwenye chama cha ODM. So hawa watu wawili, je, ni nini hasa kitaweza kufanyika ama ni lipi litaweza kufanyika? Kwa sababu hawa watu wawili ni watu ambao wanasema kwamba William Ruto must go home comes 2027, na lingine ni kwamba wanasema ya kwamba hawawezi wakaunga mkono. Na je, hao pia wataweza kutimuliwa? Kwa sababu Oburu Odinga alisema ya kwamba chama kinasafishwa, chama kinaondolewa magugu. Na je, magugu ni kina nani? Huenda magugu akawa ni kina James Orengo na Babu Owino. Hao ndio magugu ambayo yanazungumziwa pale, but hao bado hawajaweza kutimuliwa ama haijaweza kutangazwa rasmi ya kwamba wameweza kuondoka kwenye chama. Lakini wale tu ambao habari zao kwa hakika tunazo ni hao wawili tu, ambaye ni Godfrey Osochi ambaye amekuwa akiact kama naibu mwenyekiti wa chama cha ODM, na pia yule mwenyekiti ambaye alikuwa ameshikilia baada ya mwenda zake Raila Odinga kuaga dunia. But sasa hivi juzi wameweza kumtangaza rasmi ya kwamba yeye ndiye kiongozi wa chama cha ODM, na ni yeye ndiye ataweza kupeperusha na kusema lolote ambalo litaweza kufanyika na kutangaza msimamo ambao utaweza kufanyika. So guys, hayo ndiyo mambo jinsi yalivyo, lakini Edwin Sifuna amesema ya kwamba atatangaza msimamo wake na atatangaza ni kipi hasa atakifanya na ni lipi litaweza kuendelea. So we, kwa maoni yako tu, unaona kama ilo swala ambalo limefanyika ni swala ambalo ni nzuri, swala ambalo linaweza kuinua chama cha ODM ama ni kukandamiza chama cha ODM? Kwa sababu Edwin Sifuna ameact kama SG kwenye chama cha ODM, si mwaka mmoja ama miwili, amekuwa SG for a while of period ama miaka kadhaa. Na pia lingine ni kwamba ameweza kufight kwenye chama, na ndiposa alisema ya kwamba yeye atapigana hadi dakika ya mwisho kuhakikisha kwamba kile ambacho Raila Odinga alikitaka na kimeweza kutimia. Lingine ni kwamba anasema ya kwamba watu wanasema ya kwamba yeye kutolewa kwenye chama rasmi kwenye ODM, sasa hapo ndipo kuna wengine wanasema kwamba siasa zake zimekwisha, na wengine wanasema kwamba siasa zake ndio zinaenda kuamka kwa ukubwa zaidi, kwa sababu anaenda kuanzisha chama ambacho kitakuwa na united of people na watu wote watakuwa ndani. So huyu Babu Owino, je, atapewa tikiti kwenye chama cha ODM? Hilo ndilo swali, na si Babu Owino tu, pia gavana wa Siaya James Orengo, je, atapewa tikiti kuania ugavana mwaka 2027 kwenye chama cha ODM? Hayo ndio maswali ambayo tunayo, kwa sababu ukiangalia utaona ya kwamba hao watu wote wako sana ama ni wandani wa Babu Edwin Sifuna, na Edwin Sifuna wameweza kutimuliwa kwenye chama. So wewe waweza tu nipa jibu lako kwenye comment section, na shukran kwa wakati huu.